Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys!
This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Savannah Humoller, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
How do you see out of these darn things?
You can't, man.
It's 2 hours and 40 minutes away from the path of totality descending upon the star in Frisco. And this is Mick Shots. Your solar eclipse pregame show has begun. Hey, when can we take these glasses off?
Not until the next break.
No, I'm not doing the whole segment.
As soon as you
Bill
ask me
Jones,
something, I
Everson
have to
Walls,
look
Savannah
up.
Humoller, and Mickey Spagnola, who's the one that told us so we have
He's
to
got
wear
the
these
coolest glasses.
glasses.
Mick has.
No.
I can't look
ordered
at
a
it. I can't
special
see
pair.
anything. What do you mean?
This was Savannah's idea.
It
Hey,
was,
man, I like
but
it.
Mickey,
I like it.
Mickey brought his own special pair. See, I was
right.
like, let's just get the cheap ones. And Mickey comes in hot with this
He came
Amazon
in
pair.
hot,
Can you
didn't
see
he?
anything?
I can't see a thing.
Everson,
No.
can you?
No, only when I do that. I can
Do
see.
what?
So
I
that-
can't see what
do
you're
that.
doing. Okay.
I can see.
Savannah,
So-
can you see out of yours? Do you have
No,
My
I
head,
can't.
my
I
head's
can't.
too big. My
No.
head is big.
Okay, I think it's time.
So
Okay,
it's
thank you.
time.
It's a
All
good
right, there you
thing.
go. Good job. Hey.
Because for us to do our jobs, we need to see, right?
That's right.
Don't want to burn our eyes out.
My
Not me. I just need to talk.
5-year-old grandson. My 5-year-old grandson. My daughter sent me a picture. He went to school today. He's so excited about the eclipse. He hasn't taken his eclipse glasses off all day. So
He's been running into everyone.
yeah, you're right. So here we are, and it's. I saw the sun starting to break through the clouds out there
That's good.
as I walked in.
That's good.
You know, it was funny because this morning when I got up, it was about 7:15, and there was just blue sky with some stray clouds that you could see through, right?
Mm-hmm.
The closer I got here, the worse it got. And it's like, well, if I have to, I'll drive home. But I see it starting to break up a little
Yeah.
bit.
Okay.
So you're
So we got a chance.
you're looking to be in the perfect position to see the.
Yeah, I wanna
total
see.
eclipse
Well,
of the
you know
sun.
what? If we go across the street in that field, we'll see more than buildings.
Oh, that's
three
true.
Is that where
sides
we
of
should
it.
go?
Have you figured out where the sun is exactly going to be in the sky
Yeah,
at
straight above
1:40
us.
this
Yeah.
afternoon?
Yeah, straight
Okay.
up is
Straight
best.
above us.
And here,
I
As a matter
must
of fact,
admit,
I've got a neighbor that has a telescope, and he's rigged his telescope to protect it so he can take pictures, right? And I think we were talking about 12:30, 1:45, and I go, well, where's the sun going to be? And he goes, right where it's at right now.
So how many people outside the path of totality realize that the solar eclipse is even happening today?
Oh, I think the whole country knows.
yeah,
Okay.
you can't
Yeah,
get
it's
around
huge.
it.
The more I
I didn't
read-
even want to come here to work today. I don't mind telling you guys that.
Everson texted us the other day, said, are we having a show?
Because I thought it was going to be like, we were going to be inundated with people. And, that means we're going to have to get here much earlier, and then trying to get out, it was going to be a pain in the butt. But thank God it's not like that. I thought for
Yeah.
sure people were going to be coming up here, which
Everson was ready to sell tickets.
no, great idea, by the way, because of course we're at the Star. And I told everybody, I said only Bill Jones would think of this crap.
And what did
We're
Savannah
at the
tell you?
Star to go look at the eclipse, so everyone needs to come to the Star.
Did you
that would have been
notice-
a great selling point.
It would have been.
But,
Yeah, we
but
made a lot
Jerry
of money
didn't
off
come
of
up
that.
with it. Yeah.
Did you notice outside already on the football field?
Yeah, but I thought it would be much
Oh,
worse. I
okay.
really thought it would be
What's that
much
on the
worse.
football field?
Well, there's speakers and loudspeakers. And
Oh, I did not notice that. I
Yeah.
noticed football players on the football
I
field.
think Savannah can give us an update.
You mean
on
we
that.
talking
Yeah.
They're having
Tostitos
a-
field, not
They're having
not the
no,
football.
out
No,
here.
he's talking out here on the
Didn't you see
practice
that?
We're
field.
doing a little watch party out here for
Oh,
the
you
solar
are?
eclipse.
Are
Yeah.
they?
What are the speakers for? Is it going to speak to
I'm-
us too?
I'm pretty
Somebody's
sure it's
gonna
a watch
talk.
party.
They're listening for us.
Maybe it's
If
music.
someone's
Put
up
your
there.
glasses on. Glasses on, everybody. Yeah, that's what.
I thought it was going to be the voice of God.
Right. Something. No, Jerry's not talking today. No.
Actually, Gordon on the ticket had a good idea. He wanted to go down to Dealey Plaza and stand on the X when the eclipse happens, where Kennedy got shot.
Oh yeah. That's not funny.
No, I know.
Right. And only Gordon would.
But only
Right,
Gordon would come up with that.
I gotta tell you a quick Gordon story. I used to be on the show with him. First, this is when he was really young, and we were interviewing Tommy Lasorda. And Lasorda was talking about giving up snuff because all the guys started getting cancer of the mouth. And so, he was on this rant. Tommy Lasorda he was serious about it. Look, I gave it up, and these guys, we're trying to get these guys to give it up too. And so we made a film about it. And so in the background, Gordon goes, wow, Tommy Lasorda doing snuff films. Lasorda did not think that was funny at all. And he got really pissed off. And the interview ended soon after that.
Was it live?
See that.
It was live. It was live.
Oh, no.
We've seen Lasorda rant when he's pissed.
Right.
right.
He was
Yeah,
ranting for a good thing, and he was on a roll. And when Gordon said that, it just took all of the air out of his interview.
I'm sure
and he got pissed off.
the Tommy Lasorda interview with the media or whatever, where he goes on a rant, it's probably findable on YouTube somewhere if you want to look it up. But all right, so we got football to talk about too.
We do.
Okay, so what are we thinking as we embark on this Eclipse Monday, and we are now less than 3 weeks away from draft day, and there is so much that has happened here in the last week. Of course, the Cowboys made a big move, signing Chuma Edoga.
I'd like to say.
Are you leaving, Spags?
Don't break the headset. I'd like to say.
For those just listening, Mickey just got up to walk out of the room.
I was the first to break the news to Mickey. He was sitting at the lunch table. I said, "Hey, Mickey, did you hear Chuma Edoga staying in Dallas?" And he was like, "What? What?"
Was it last week or the week before where
This
Mickey?
It was
It was last
This
week
was like last
when
Thursday.
he
Mon-
made a comment
last Monday, and it
about his
happened on
lack of
Thursday.
mobility from Edoga.
Well, here's the good part about it.
Oh, what did you say last week? Exactly?
I said I'd
what was
walk out the building if they signed
No,
him.
he said that it was like he was like a traffic cone.
No,
And
I think that's what I said.
No, that's what Savannah said it.
Sorry,
I said
Savannah. Sorry, Savannah. Didn't know you were so
tra-
harsh. I
Sorry,
don't recall
traffic
you being that
cone,
harsh.
Chuma.
I can't wait to have Chuma as a guest on the show.
I say we bring him on.
I think it would be really
So
funny.
basically,
Not to Mickey.
it's insurance, right? Because he signed the veteran exception, so he only counts 1.09 million against the cap.
Well, he was signed for insurance last year too, and he
if
got
he
6
makes
starts.
the team, I know, but he's got to make the team, right?
And he had to make the team last year, and he did. And
And if he doesn't, it costs him $152,000.
Yeah.
Okay, Mickey, touch on why Chuma was not kind of on your radar to stick around. Like, what were some of the things that you
I was
saw
thinking
last
that there could be somebody better than him out there for insurance, but they probably couldn't get it any cheaper than they got him. So I think he's insurance against maybe one of these young guys not stepping up to be a back worthy of. I mean, they need guys to step up to be starters, right? And then they need guys to step up and be backups.
they're in this gray area right now where they aren't sure what their inventory is going to be on the offensive line,
Right.
because and not until the draft happens will we know, or will they know exactly what they have. And I assume what may have happened in this case, they would have waited until after the draft on signing an Edoga or whoever. Maybe Chuma had an offer from another team and they just want to cover themselves, and maybe his agent came to them and said, hey, we got this offer in Atlanta or wherever. What do y'all think? And they may have said, oh, we'll go ahead and a veteran minimum is what he was going to be. So just to
Right.
make sure they have a veteran guy here, not knowing what's going to happen going forward.
Sort of what happened on the same level with Trent Sig when they signed their deep snapper he had interest from other teams, and they were like, "Oh no, we can't lose him since he was so good last year." So
But I mean, are we putting
that got done.
we putting Chuma in that category?
as what?
Somebody
No,
someone that we need for backup.
Well, they need
something
as
that
a
we
backup.
need as a backup.
It's a depth thing.
It's
you know,
right,
it's
exactly.
good to have
It's
him in there
insurance
for
against,
depth.
say, Matt Willetsko can't step up to be good enough to be the backup.
That's a tough one.
See, I was thinking, well, what about La'el Collins? And then Buffalo signed him for as much as $6 million.
Is that what it was?
1 year, $6.2 million. Up to, so we don't know what the incentives
the
are.
Cowboys they had every intent to sign a veteran backup tackle, whatever, and maybe they were talking to Collins, and then when Collins went for bigger money than to Buffalo, they said, well, we got to get somebody,
better
and so
do
let's
something.
go,
Yeah.
let's get Chuma. I mean, one of the big things is there are still veteran tackles out there who can start on the free agent market, who are probably waiting until after the draft, and teams are waiting until after the draft to see. And so the big thing from a Cowboys perspective, I think, is that when you get to 24, don't take a tackle just because you have to take a tackle if he's not the one that you like. You know, if it's the fifth tackle on your board or whatever, because you then can again get the best defensive tackle or whatever it might be, another position of need, and you can go sign Donovan Smith for $3 million, who started for the Chiefs last year at that much.
And what Bill's saying, and if you these mock drafts, there's a reason they call them mocks, right? Very well, by the time they get to 24, and I've seen it, the Cowboys are taking the sixth tackle in the first round. I want the sixth best one in the first round. I think, most obvious, inexpensive solution is Tyler Smith goes to left tackle, T.J. Bass plays guard, and you got to find a center.
And where are we at now?
And you might be able to find the second best center.
You sound
at
like
24.
the Cowboys are thinking another alternative route.
Well, Mike McCarthy said at the owners' meeting that at this point Tyler Smith's a guard. I want him to be the tackle.
Okay, let me throw something out
But then
at
they
you.
didn't ask me.
Which could be a scenario the Cowboys are looking at late in the first round. There's a tackle from Georgia named Amarius Mims, who started only 8 games in his college career. But this guy is 6'8", 340 pounds. He moves well. It's not a sloppy 340 pounds. I mean, he is put together. He started 8 games at right tackle. So he's more of a developmental type. However, he might be able to come in and play right away.
Can he play guard?
Or I don't know.
Remember, Tyler Smith was a
Now,
tackle.
at 6'8", it's a little harder to play guard.
That's
true.
Right.
So
Ask Josh Ball.
yeah. So, but anyway, this guy could be better than all the tackles out there. And I don't know what the Cowboys feel about him,
You
but
gotta
it may
take him
take
in
a little
first?
bit of time just to make sure. There's an unknown there as far as for being for sure whether, because he hasn't had the experience of other guys. But you might be able to take him. You still have in your hip pocket your scenario, and you bring him along however he comes along.
So how is he rated in this draft?
He's rated as one of those guys that, I mean, it's a deep draft for offensive tackles.
That's good.
Yeah, and
So
he's in the mix in that group.
Getting the sixth best, would that be so bad if it's so deep?
But when one of the other issues on it is he doesn't have a lot of experience, and he's only played right tackle. And you've heard Mike McCarthy, and I haven't heard Solari so much, but McCarthy's talked about, well, you keep a guy on the right side or the left. He's either a right side or left side guy.
That still baffles the hell out of me.
Yeah,
that still baffles the hell out of me.
So anyway. The fact if he had been at left tackle, it would be easier to pull the trigger if you want him to be the left tackle, whatever.
How many first-round picks do you need on the offensive line?
You don't have to have all of them have to be first.
Well, you're getting close to it. If you take another one in the first round, now you would have, what, 2?
It depends on the culture
3?
that you want to create.
You'd have 3, right?
Yeah, but it depends on the culture you want to create. That's like saying in Washington they had 4 first-rounders on the defensive line.
Atlanta right now, I think
How'd
they've
that
got 4
work for 'em?
first-rounders.
Well, defensively they were good. Their offense just sucked. That's all.
Well, in the Cowboys, I mean, the last decade, they had 3 first-rounders when they drafted Tyron
There you
Smith
go.
12 years ago. Then 11 years ago, they drafted Travis Frederick, and 10 years ago, Zach Martin. So you went for a good stretch of the last decade with 3 first-rounders on your
And that was-
offensive line.
that was
And then
before we
Lyle
even had
Collins.
Zeke.
Lyle Collins was
Would have
projected would have been a first-rounder if he didn't have the issues coming out, and they signed him as a college free agent.
And how did that help you on defense?
And that didn't win you 2 playoff games in a given year, did
Right.
it? So
So at some point, you got to spread out, your money. It can't be all on the offensive line. Can you develop somebody? Can you, give it an opportunity to see what TJ Bass can do at guard? But these are the decisions they've got to make.
It seems as if they're still going this route to look at offensive linemen, Spags, they're just not happy with what they see. They're not comfortable with what they see.
Well, they have not said that.
well, yeah. So
This
we don't
is-
know what they're doing
This is
until
what's
they do
out
it.
there because they see, they don't have La'el Collins, and they got to have a tackle.
Yeah, that's just they
Well,
saying that. That's
they
not
gotta
them
have
I'm
a-
part of they.
Yeah,
I am with they.
and
Because we do need that.
and you also need a linebacker, and you also need a defensive tackle, and you probably
And you
need
need
a
an edge
defensive
rusher.
end. So when I get to that spot, what's the best? Who's the best? Can I have the 3rd best defensive end or the 6th best tackle? I also need a running back.
We talked last week, and I am all about defense. If we're going to pick anything and we're going to hang our hat on something, once again, you can have the worst offense in the world. You can still go deep into the playoffs with a solid defense. And I know this is way back in the day, I'm still looking at the Ravens on how they won the doggone championship with that defense and one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen play in the NFL, not just in the Super Bowl. And this guy, now he's got camps out there. He's coaching kids how to be bad quarterbacks as well. So come on, man. But he's making his money. He's doing his thing because of a great defense. So to me, you've got to have that defense. And we found that out in the playoffs. You cannot have a defense depending on your offense. You just can't. It don't work because in the playoffs, things are different. The defense is going to be better. The Packers played us better because our defense is waiting on our offense to get the game going. We need to have I love having our offense score points, but we need to be in a culture here to where we can play defense and we can run the ball on anyone. I don't care how good our quarterback is. I don't care how much CD Lamb gets off. That's the formula that you're going to have to win by. We've always approached it offensively first. We need to go from the defense first.
Tell me the defensive tackles on this team right now.
UCLA, OC.
OC.
Yeah.
OC.
And we had, what
And proven,
do you mean proven?
like they can play.
Yeah, well, all of them have shown that they can play, but they're just not consistent.
OSA.
But they're still.
But I need more than one defensive
Yes, you do.
tackle.
Yes, you do.
So the next one
And you need a linebacker.
would be Mozzie. We don't know. Chauncey Golston. He's a defensive end. They kind of moved inside.
Mm-hmm.
And then what? That's it.
Okay.
There ain't no Jonathan Hankins anymore.
Mm-hmm.
There's no Neville Gallimore anymore. So what if I get to that point and there's still a defensive tackle, as Bill looked at over the weekend?
Mm-hmm. He seems like he's looking over it now.
Well,
No, I've got.
So
he knows.
We'll wait for the next segment to talk
Yeah.
about the guy I want to talk about.
So
Yes,
would
Savannah.
would you start with the defensive tackle, linebacker, excuse me,
That's
or do you go where else on defense?
I would
where,
say
where
line,
would
I
you
would
start?
say linebacker. I would start linebacker.
You would start linebacker.
I would start linebacker. Even
Mickey?
though we just signed a linebacker, I would still look for another linebacker in the draft.
so I think a lot of that depends on what are they going to do with Micah Parsons? Is he a linebacker? Well, then I need a defensive end. Is he a defensive end? Then I need a linebacker. And by the way, watching DeMarvion Overshown work out there, he's moving really well.
Oh, so he's already got your linebacker
There you
for
go.
you.
Well, I mean,
Overshown.
he's won,
I
right?
love him.
And is he just a change-up linebacker, or is he a starting linebacker?
Give me his.
So when
what's his
I
stats?
need,
What's his physique? What is he? 6 what? What is he?
well, I would
Let me
imagine
get
he
the
was
official stats for you.
6'3",
One moment, please, if I can get my iPad, my brand new iPad.
I'm looking
to
at
work
last-
I'll
properly.
back
It's
you
going
up
to be
here,
a while
Bill,
before
just
he
in
gets the
case.
iPad.
Yeah,
going.
right.
Thank
He'll
you,
never
Savannah,
get it
because he
going.
doesn't even know how to connect to his cell phone. So
Well, I got it. I got the hotspot going. Go ahead, Mickey. What were you going to say?
I was going to
looking at
say
Overshaw's
so fast.
numbers.
I got
he's
it.
6'3".
6'3", 225.
There we go.
That's small.
Yeah, and he probably put on a little bit of strength and weight working out.
Did they
after
want? Did they draft him?
tours.
Did they sign him to be a hybrid?
He was going to be a hybrid linebacker. He was
Would
going
you
to be
like some more
third
details
down.
on him?
I'm tired of hybrid linebackers.
Third down.
I'm tired of hybrid
No,
linebackers.
third down.
Okay.
4.56 40. What the heck is going on here?
Yeah, man. What's that thing, Bill?
Now, where's the volume
That
control?
sounded a little racy. Oh, you know, listen to black music. Listen to that rap, man. Listen to that rap.
That's on NFL.com.
Listen to
whatever
that
it was.
rap.
So is this the volume control on my new iPad?
Yes, it is.
How
It's
come
up
it
and
didn't turn
down.
it down?
Up and down.
Well, it didn't turn it,
It
down.
goes up and down.
We have some work to
I was
do.
doing
Okay.
the
We have some work
volume
to do today.
up. Why is that the up? And that should be the up. Anyway, 4.56 40 for DeMarvion.
I'm looking at.
He's built like a linebacker.
He came to Texas.
He's
he was
built like an undersized
He was
linebacker.
and he was an Under Armour All-American in high school out of ARP, Texas, as a safety. Okay, he
ARP?
went to Texas, ARP, A-R-P, in East Texas, ARP, Texas.
Division II. What is that?
It's very small.
Class 2.
Very small. It's
2A.
lower than
2A.
No, it's probably
maybe
3.
Class A. I don't know. I think it is 3A. Anyway, he went to Texas as a safety, and he converted to linebacker. Did play linebacker his last couple of years at Texas. And as we all know, he looked really good in training camp before he suffered the ACL injury in a preseason game. But to answer your question and what Mickey has just said, he was projected to be a sub-package linebacker last year.
Let's look at
But
how
he's not.
we were blown off the map.
Oh, no.
In our last several games, as we spoke of earlier, in Buffalo first.
He was not projected to be Leighton Vander Esch's replacement.
I
Let's put it that way.
want the ability when that team goes 2 tight ends or a fullback to put 3 legitimate linebackers on the field.
I would not put him down as a legitimate linebacker.
No, I'm not saying.
Okay.
I'm not saying. That's why I'm saying linebacker. Though.
Yes.
So if
He's saying linebacker is a need.
it's a need.
Yeah, we agree on that.
Yeah.
I just don't want any more hybrids.
No.
That's my point.
They got the hybrid.
Yeah, we got
You
plenty
want
of
just
hybrids.
plenty
a
of hybrids.
solid linebacker
I want
who
a
can play the
just like
position.
what we brought in, the veteran that we brought in.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
got hybrid linebackers out the wazoo.
We don't
I mean,
need
it from Marquise Bell to Wanye
We
Thomas
don't
to
need
Donovan
that.
Wilson to DeMarvion Overshown.
you
There-
just
We got
forget
plenty of
trying to
hybrid
find out
linebackers.
where you're
Across
going to
the
play
board.
Parsons. Is he going to be a lineman or is he going to be a linebacker? I need to find out if you're going to be a DB or you going to be a safety or you're going to be a linebacker. That's the ones that we need to try and figure out as much as Michael Parsons. We've got these hybrids. What position they'll play? I think Marquise Bell should never play linebacker again. I don't think he should ever have to play linebacker. He should be back there as a safety, roaming the way he really can roam.
Right.
We're wasting him in this finite space here. He needs to be in the back where he can make some plays. And he did a damn good job, as we all
Right.
agree. He
Yeah,
did a damn good job
absolutely.
this year.
But put him in a
We need to
position
start
where-
being more traditional in our defensive packages because we needed a package different from what we had against Buffalo, against Miami,
against Green
and
Bay.
against Green Bay.
And that's going to be the intriguing thing this offseason as we are able to watch the OTA practices and then get into training camp and how Mike Zimmer is using these players in contrast perhaps to the way Dan Quinn.
Because I don't want the quarterback that beats me in the playoffs to say, oh, we noticed you had a safety playing linebacker, and we thought we'd just run the ball.
Right.
Exactly.
And it was pretty obvious in this room. We knew that was going on. We were just hoping that something would come about. We were hoping that Evans would turn out to plug in that stuff. And, you just can't do that. We realize now we cannot do that. It does not work. We were very optimistic going into the playoffs. And I don't think that was fair to the fans themselves. That's right. I don't think that's fair to the fans for us to sit up here and try and make them believe that.
All right, so we continue with Mick shots in just a moment, and there is a defensive player in this draft that Mickey is very high on, and I am climbing aboard the bandwagon when we come back in just a moment.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby! The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Did you know that responding to one spam call can lead to more? Or that the IRS would never ask for your social security number on the phone? Beat scammers at their own game by subscribing to AARP Fraud Watch Network alerts and texts. At aarp.org/beatscammerstx, you can sign up to receive information that helps you recognize and avoid the latest scams. That's aarp.org/beatscammerstx.
Back to Mick Shots.
The 11th annual Reliant Home Run Derby is back at Riders Field in Frisco on May 1st at 6 p.m. Come see your favorite Dallas Cowboys players swing for the fences to raise money for the Salvation Army. Admission and parking are free. Visit dallascowboys.com/ReliantHRD to learn more. See you there.
And guess what? Look what's out.
It's the Dallas Cowboys Star Magazine NFL Draft Guide.
There you go.
I love this.
Online,
this is my saving
it
grace.
is available for people if they go to dallascowboys.com/news/stars magazine. It's the official draft guide again with features on some of the biggest stars in the draft, breakdowns of the Cowboys' haves and have-nots. Going into the draft at each position, and more than 100 in-depth scouting reports. So, and soon it should be available to purchase, and soon at the pro shops and regional outlets like Albertsons and Walmart.
All right. almost as good as the Big Green NFL Draft Scouting Notebook, which is starting to fill up.
Where's your section in here?
There's I don't get started. I had to make 3 trips to baseball spring training, so I'm just now diving into this draft big time, and I love the next couple of weeks because right now I've got a fairly decent handle on the top 50 players. I love studying the next 200 players.
All right.
I want to figure out who they're going to get in the 4th, 5th, and 6th. Well, they don't have a 4th round pick, but we can trade next year's 4th and get a 4th. Anyway, so I texted Mickey on Friday, I think it was, because I was looking at a player from the University of Missouri, and I don't remember exactly what I texted you, but I love this player. And he is a defensive lineman, and his name is Darius Robinson. He is 6'5", 285 pounds with 10.5-inch hands, 34.5-inch arms, and 84.5-inch wingspan. He had 8.5 sacks for the Missouri Tigers, first-team All-SEC this past season. He's an academic All-American.
All righty then.
He's a mixture of Max Crosby and Chris Jones. And Mickey actually agrees with me.
All right.
And they don't have a measure for your playing nature, but he's a badass.
He's also a 2-time team captain, too. He was organizing workouts at 10 o'clock at night.
And he's been known to get kicked out of games.
Really?
That's what I want out of my defensive tackle.
For what reason?
Actually playing too hard or being too rough or playing after the whistle. This guy, you want him. He's one of those guys you want on your team. And if you keep looking at things, there's very good chance he could be there.
This is a nice guy. I love
24.
This is nice.
Are you looking up Darius Robinson?
No.
Look at the
He's on
defensive lineman.
Page 61.
Okay,
of
you
the
got
draft
him.
guide,
Page
everybody.
61. Good.
Yes.
All right. Everyone turn to hymn number 61 now. Let's sing the praises
In your Bible,
of Darius Robinson.
Your sports Bible.
He's also he is
Oh, Mizzou guy, huh?
Yeah, he's
no wonder Spags likes him, man.
Well, no.
Man,
You know, a lot of times I can give you.
here, man.
I can
Have
give
you
you
been listening?
I can give. Hey, Everson, I can give you a ton of OU guys that I would not draft, and so I think the fans that are most passionate about their team give you a true reading on players, one way or the other. And usually it is you really love them or you really hate them.
Yeah, sometimes you're tougher on them than
Exactly.
you would be.
That's right.
But
and
this guy can play.
And
he could play
he's a
outside,
good person, too.
And he can play inside.
That's good.
Got a great smile.
need that.
Great smile.
No,
if that means anything.
I mean,
He's one of the slower linebackers out there.
He's not a linebacker.
He's a
He's
defensive
6'5",
lineman.
285-pound
I'm
defensive
sorry, one of
lineman.
the slower defensive linemen out there.
Well, he ran a 4.95 at 285 pounds.
God, these guys are so fast.
Right. So
I mean, once again,
he's
I
coupled
just caught
with
on
the
the
edge guys.
Yeah, okay.
So that's
because these guys are running 4.7, 4.6.
Okay, what's the
4.7.
4.6? What's the weight on the 4.6 guy that you just?
The 4.6 guy,
235.
Who are you looking at?
251.
Okay.
So
He ain't playing
51.
tackle.
He ran a 4.6 at 251 pounds.
Yeah.
Well, this guy's he's 40 pounds heavier.
Yeah, 285.
And he can play inside.
Yeah, and so he's a guy that inside, outside. He's but he's got
And he can move.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it. I
got to get you some video of him playing too.
Yeah,
So,
please do.
Darius Robinson.
His three cone drill is up there.
What is he? What do they have him? Because I don't have the cone drill.
I'm sorry, that's
Okay.
BJ.
All right. But Robinson had a 35
9'3".
vertical, and anyway,
All right, he's on your radar, Mickey.
he should be on all of our radars.
Yeah, you never know when
Hey, that 35
Derek
vertical.
Brown
Putting a
shows
star
up.
by
That
his
35 vertical is really good.
Yeah, that's
That's
right.
really good.
Yeah, that shows explosion.
Oh my God. And he's the heaviest one.
Yeah. What was that?
No,
Mickey?
I was just trying to make a joke. Defensive tackle, Derek Brown, Carolina. Mm-hmm. Signs
4 years,
a
96
4-year,
million.
$96 million extension as a defensive tackle. Although he did have 103 tackles this last year.
He had 103 tackles this
It
year
says-
as an interior
Yes.
defensive lineman.
80 80.
That's unheard of.
He played 89% of the snaps, and whoever judges this said he had a 47% win rate versus the run. So that's why he's averaging $24 million a year with $63 million guaranteed.
Okay, late round Jim. We're still talking.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love it. Mick Everson's starting to get into this draft. We're going into late round Jims now.
Jalix Hunt. Now he's 252.
Okay.
4'6", 440.
Yeah, he's an end.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with getting
No,
an end.
I'm not really.
Yeah.
No, this is not a back and
I
forth
know,
thing.
you're
I'm just
looking
impressed.
at it.
I'm impressed with these numbers.
Yeah.
Vertical, 37.5. Man, at 4'6", 440. Broad jump 10.8. This guy's, you talk about a great athlete here. That's why I know he's late round, but he's 6'4", 252.
Sort of like Randy Gregory.
Now look, this is the picture that somebody sent me. This picture of Too Tall and Tom Landry. Yeah, I had
from London.
Yeah. No, this is when he was first drafted.
Oh, okay.
That afro has to be circa 72. I'm sorry, 77 or something like that.
All right, what else is on your legal pad there, Mickey?
Well, I mentioned Randy Gregory. Switched teams again. Tampa Bay signed him for $3 million up to $5 million with incentives.
That's a good up and coming team.
So we'll see. That's his third team since he left the Cowboys. Signed with Denver. That didn't work out, and they're currently having paid $14.4 million in dead money this year for him after they traded him last year, middle of the season, to San Francisco.
He'll be in Dallas 2 years. He'll be back in Dallas 2 years.
Oh, gosh.
He'll be like, "Hey, what's up, buddy?
I
Welcome
don't
back."
think it's going to happen when he turned his back on what he said he was going to do. So, he'll be in Tampa Bay.
And they have a need. Shaq Barrett went to Miami.
Right.
So
they found a kind of
it's
less expensive replacement.
Yeah, and Tampa Bay has been up against the cap for a couple of years now, coming off the Tom Brady era. And so when you lose a player like Shaq Barrett, you get an economical replacement in Randy Gregory.
Or Chuma Edoga.
By the way, none of these guys have their 3-cone drills. None of them did.
Well, a bunch of them. Here's the deal. At the Combine, it's interesting you bring that up. The cone, especially for edge rushers, the cone drill, it really sets the bar a lot of times for whether you're the teams look at that closely on whether you're a first-round draft pick, second-round draft pick, third-round draft pick. Agents have gotten wise to it now.
And
so
the deadline for that stuff was
no. This is from the Combine, and so those Combine numbers are in there.
But sometimes they don't run
Here's the point. Agents have gotten wise to that, and they have advised their clients not to do the cone drill because there's a certain amount of training that also goes into. That's why you go to this Michael Johnson performance place and all these other places to train to get that cone drill down under 7. Well, if you don't get the technique just right and you run a 7.30 instead of a 6.95 or a 7.0, it can drop your draft stock from a first rounder down.
So they advise against it.
So the agents have now said, "Hey, I don't want don't do the cone drill."
There are still 2 on here that actually have numbers. Dwayne Carter from Duke. He's a senior, 6'2", 302. And his cone numbers, the 3-cone, was 7.95.
And what is he?
He's a tackle, and he's interior.
Yeah,
interior.
Interior guys, it's not this
it
big a
doesn't
deal.
matter. He ain't running no cones.
But there's Gabe Hall, Baylor, 6'6", he's a senior, 291.
And where's his projected?
7.65.
Where's he projected?
Late round Jim.
Yeah,
but he's an interior defensive lineman.
Now Carter, number 7, he's projected number 7. And that's the other one that had the drill. But you've got a couple of them that have done it. What's the shuttle? Okay, 20-yard. The 20-yard shuttle, is that what that is? 4.37 for Braden Fisk out of Florida State.
So at 20 yards, he's 4 point. Is it a shuttle or
It's the
they
shuttle.
time them
It's the
20
shuttle.
yards into the 40?
Oh, it's a shuttle.
The shuttle, he ran a 4.37, Braden Fisk at 292. And then you've got Gabe Hall, did a 4.67 in the 20-yard shuttle.
All right, I'm looking through my numbers. For example, Laiatu Latu of UCLA is one of the top edge rushers in this draft.
Okay.
He's projected to be first-round draft pick. He ran a 7.09. He was one that actually did the cone drill.
Okay.
A 7.09. Dallas Turner from Alabama, who ran a 4.46 with a 40.5 vertical and a 10.7 broad jump, and he's considered the top edge rusher, top 10 draft pick. He didn't do the cone drill. He can do it. I guarantee you that Dallas Turner, with the proper training, or maybe without any training, can run a 7 flat or faster cone drill. But why risk it when you've already put up numbers with a 4.46 40? And why risk
adding on? Yeah.
Why risk if you haven't solely trained for that cone drill?
This is a defensive
to do
end
it?
running a 4.4640. Is that what I see?
That's yes, he's 6'3", 247 pounds.
So
Dallas
he's
Turner.
a Freeney. He's more like a Freeney, right?
Well,
outside rusher.
and he's got long arms.
He's not
too.
really tall necessarily.
Yeah, and for Alabama, well, he's 6'3".
That's not for edge rusher. That's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's why I put him in a Freeney category.
They got another edge rusher from Alabama, Chris Braswell, that I like, who's 6'3", 251, and he ran a 4.6. So that's the difference between. And he had 8 sacks for Alabama this year. Dallas Turner had 10 sacks, and Turner's a top 10 pick, and Chris Braswell will be a guy that you can get in the second round probably.
And welcome to the Cowboys Draft Show.
Yeah. It's a great time of the year, Mickey.
Speaking of which, guys, I'm going to be out in Detroit for the draft this year.
Oh, yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
How about that?
All right.
You're gonna be out there with some hoodlums, right?
Yes, I will. I'm going to go, we'll be there with all the inner circle fans and then as well as on the media side so we can check out some of these top prospects.
Okay, when we come back here on Mick Shots, Mickey, do you have a rant?
I have a couple.
Oh, a couple of Mick Shots coming at you in just a moment here on Mick Shots.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Did you know that responding to one spam call can lead to more? Or that the IRS would never ask for your social security number on the phone? Beat scammers at their own game by subscribing to AARP Fraud Watch Network alerts and texts. At aarp.org/beatscammerstx, you can sign up to receive information that helps you recognize and avoid the latest scams. That's aarp.org/beatscammerstx.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Back to Mick Shots.
Join the huddle with Dallas Cowboys jerseys. Rep your favorite player or grab a custom jersey with your name on it. Score yours at Pro Shop near you or log on to shop.dallascowboys.com. A Fanatics experience.
It is 11:45 here on a Monday morning edition of Mix Shots, brought to you by Miller Lite. And 2 hours from right now, we will be coming out of the darkness.
Breaking news.
Will the Cowboys come out of the darkness of this offseason at that time, too?
He's so poetic, isn't he?
Breaking
The light
news.
starts
Breaking
shining. We have
news.
a breaking news alert.
Breaking
we have
news.
breaking news. Ba-da-da-bum. Breaking news from the Cowboys newsroom and Mickey Spagnola.
That's not how it sounds.
The sun's out.
The sun is out. Oh, here.
Oh, that's good, though.
It is out.
That's
Clouds are breaking up right
That's
now.
good.
I see some blue sky. Not totally, but when I went out there, there's shadows, so it means the sun is shining through.
He went out and saw his shadow, so that means 2 more hours.
2 more hours of sunshine.
That's a good one. We're gonna keep making a little hole down there.
Right?
Those
See what
sunglasses are going to come in real handy.
Gonna need them sunglasses.
What do they call it? Puxtahoney Mickey.
Yeah, Puxtahoney.
No, Frisco.
Puxtahoney Phil. That's his name.
Frisco Mickey.
Frisco Mickey just went outside, saw his shadow. That means,
Go, Mickey.
what does that mean
God.
about
Good news.
Is it 6 more weeks of winter for the Cowboys off season?
No.
Oh, don't start.
Don't
No,
do
it
that.
better not be.
Don't do that. Mm-mm.
It better not be.
Which no one wants to admit why. It's just amazing to me.
Why?
Why they're not doing anything.
Waiting for the
Okay,
draft.
well, here we go.
Waiting
And
for
just-
the draft.
And just for perspective,
Okay, let's start with
They
the
have-
Mick.
I
Let's start
feel
with
a
the
Mick
Mick.
shot
There
coming.
we go. Thank you.
they have
Do
six,
we have it in the booth? Do
We have the
the
sounder,
rant?
Jasmine? I don't know.
I don't know if Jasmine knows where that button is.
Yeah, producer Supreme's not here.
They have
He's
$6
out
million
watching the Eclipse.
All
available.
right, wait. We're going. All right, there you go.
They got $6 million available under the salary cap. Their projected draft pool is $8 million. So do the math. If they were drafting today, they couldn't draft 7 guys.
They've got the Michael Gallup money for the draft pool.
I know, but today they don't.
And that's what people. I heard a national talk show talking about what you're talking about, and
Right.
what are they going to do? And they clearly weren't aware that Michael Gallup was a June 1st cut.
Right.
And
they
so
get
that money
$8
that will
million.
become available, $8 million on June 1st, there you can
Or is it 6?
you can sign your draft class.
Well,
there.
just remember, next year it's $8 more million in dead money.
Right.
So there's no free lunch.
We're living this thing month to month,
Month
if
to
not
month.
week to week, or
Day
day
by
to day.
day. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
And then there's
Slow and steady wins the race, you guys.
there's this
What happens when your credit card is over the limit?
and they don't and they
That's exactly what happened.
And
That's
they
what
do.
y'all going all in, right?
That's
Credit
right.
card went over the limit, guys.
Been there, done that.
and unfortunately the
funny
NFL
stuff,
doesn't just charge you interest, right? They charge you draft choices and millions of dollars, right?
That's amazing. Good stuff.
The other thing I see out there is no one understands why they haven't signed Dak Prescott to an extension. Well, number one, it takes 2 people to sign an extension. And no one has said anything about what Dak's guys are asking for. Remember, he averaged $40 million on this last contract, and now you understand why the Cowboys were pushing for a 5-year deal and not a 4-year deal. And because it's a 4-year deal, this is the last year. And I guarantee you they're waiting for more to happen with quarterbacks to sign to see what the average is going to be. Because the top averages right now are Joe Burrow with $55 million, Herbert with $52 million, Lamar Jackson $52, and Jalen Hurts $51. So guess what they're asking for? $60 million a year.
At least, yeah.
And so I think that's one of the reasons why the Cowboys are sitting there going, okay, you want to bet on yourself? You want to wait?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can wait you out if you don't agree to sign for what we have. And he's already tried that once with the franchise tag and got hurt. Now, what if that had been a career-ending injury and he turned his back on, I forgot what the franchise tag guaranteed was at that point, but it was nearly $30 million, I think. So you got to ask yourself, you going to take the money that's available, or are you going to bet on yourself? And I think that's a
most players bet on themselves.
They do.
Yeah, that's just the way it is.
And I'm thinking, you know what? If I've made the money I've already made, I'm probably not going to take that bet. The other one that's going on, and is everybody
before you move to the other one, is it about the quarterbacks too, or is it something else?
No. Go ahead with the quarterbacks.
The other thing on Dak is Miami is thinking about doing a Tua long-term contract.
Right.
And so if you're the Dak camp, the Tua camp, do you want to be first to sign that?
Right.
Because whoever goes second is going to get more money than the first guy.
That's
So true.
exactly what's happening with CeeDee Lamb. Because Justin Jefferson is in the same boat that CeeDee Lamb is. He's on his 5th-year option that's worth $19 million. CD's is $18 million. So they both need an extension to lower the cap hit for this year.
Here's the thing, guys.
So they're waiting because the agent doesn't want to get trumped. Like, I signed my guy for $25 million, and then CD gets $30 million.
Even when I played, I bet on myself, and it worked out for me. I didn't get injured, thank God, and the play was decent. So I always look at it like this: everyone can't be the top paid player. Everyone can't be the top paid player. So if you're waiting on something to happen, okay, I'm Tua's waiting on. You might be talking about, $2 million here, $3 million there, and I know it. To say that it's trivial sounds weird, but when it's all said and done, I don't think it makes that much of a freaking difference, guys. I mean, you're going to tell me Jefferson's not going to be happy if someone else makes more money than he does?
But his agent won't.
I know, but this is the player's call.
Yes, I know.
You know what I'm saying? And so I've always looked at it like, I don't have to be the top. I mean, I want to be up there, of course, but I don't want to be the top. There are many other ways you can make some money. There's many other clauses you can put in your contract if you want to even it out. But to me, all of this, hey, I got to be number one. That's really just about pride when it comes to a player standpoint. Agent wants the money. The player, that's just ego. It's just ego. And I know I'm not trying to say players should be taking less money. Trust me, I'm not trying to say that.
We know.
Yeah, exactly. That's not me. But, when it's all said and done, somebody's going to be number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's going to be somebody. And so you're not going to be happy with it. If you were happy when you signed it, now you're not happy because someone's making more than you. To me, that's just, it doesn't make much sense when it comes down to the final say-so.
Because you might be number one today, next year you're going to be number 3.
It's going to be somebody else. Be happy with the money that you have. And I don't mean take less once again, but be happy with that tagline that you signed. You signed that.
And we started this, I think it was last week, right? You asked, what do you think the market value is for the wide receivers now? And we pointed out that Tyreek Hill averages $30 million a year. So these guys now want $30 million or more a year. Devontae Adams, $28 million. Cooper Kupp, $26 million. So now what's the...
And it depends on where you are in your contract.
Right.
You see, if I'm coming up at the end of my contract, then okay, let's start talking about something better because I played better than Tyreek Hill. I'm just saying if I was a player or not. I played better than Tyreek Hill. Okay, let's talk about a raise or raising me up there just for ego purposes. You're showing me how much love you have for me by making me the highest paid just by adding a little bit more because Tyreek Hill just went above me.
And see, we don't know what their sides are asking for. So, again, the Cowboys got to manage their cap not just this year, but next year.
Yeah.
Take Dak next year. If he's not on this team and he doesn't get an extension, he's got a $40 million of dead money from voided years that they've pushed money down to restructure his contract. So there's more to it than just, well, get it done. It doesn't happen that way because it takes two people to negotiate a contract. And then the other thing we kind of got at the end, you asked last week about Trey Lance.
Yes.
That he's in his final year of his contract, and the Cowboys basically have a 1 year or whatever, April to December, to make a judgment on what he is. From asking around, my understanding is you're going to see a lot of Trey Lance in the offseason, in the OTAs. They know what Cooper Rush is.
That's right. That is good.
They've got three preseason games. Dak plays, a half of one? They don't need to see Cooper Rush. So you're going to see a lot of Trey Lance this offseason. Especially, they don't need to overwork Dak, especially in training camp. So they're going to take a good look at him to see exactly what they have. And they didn't give him that $4 million roster bonus for nothing, right? They want to see, and they don't know. We don't know. So they've got to find out, and they've got one season to find out about what Trey Lance is. Is he a future backup? Is he a guy that you want to start grooming for the future? Or what if you see him play really well and there's a quarterback injury and somebody goes, I'll give you a second-round pick for him. You turned a fourth into a second. So that's kind of what's going on with him. They've liked what they've seen so far, but they have not seen anything on the field in a competitive situation because they basically retooled him. Yeah. This was like a year of quarterback school for him from a technique standpoint. Steps, shoulder, arm slots.
He doesn't have that much experience.
Well,
he does not have much game experience.
At 23 years old, if he was in this draft, he'd be right up there in the top 5 picks in the draft again.
Yep.
He's the same age as half the quarterbacks that are projected to be first-round picks in this draft.
I did look that up somewhere, and I was looking at the ages, and you're exactly right.
They don't have it in these.
Average ages, it's like 24.
Yeah, absolutely. So they've got to find out about him and be prepared. You're going to see a lot of Trey Lance in this offseason, the OTAs, and then when they get to training camp because they got to find out what he is.
All right, 2 minutes left here.
Yes.
I want to ask Everson, what do you think of the Stefon Diggs trade? And by the way, Stefon Diggs and the Texans will be coming here to take on Trayvon Diggs and the Cowboys.
Finally, we got the matchup.
I was talking trash down at South Padre Island. They were bragging about Houston. I told them they're still the second best team in Texas. So
when the trade was first announced, it sounded like such a steal for the Texans because all they had to give up was next year's second-round pick, and they were getting back in return 6th-rounder this year and a 5th-rounder next year. Well, then, in the couple of days later, word comes out that Stefon's having his contract redone, and it's only a 1-year deal that he's on.
Really? And guess what?
So now it's only a 1 year.
It's a 1-year deal that Stefon Diggs is on, and so
$22.5 million fully guaranteed.
It's another $3 million on top of that, which was a roster bonus that will come into effect for this year too. So
that
basically,
no, that's what got 25. It to 22.5.
Oh, okay.
Because it was 18 and a half.
I got you. Okay.
Base.
So, but the point is,
that's weird.
Point. This is a rental.
Signing for just 1 year. Yeah.
So, and they're giving up their second-round draft pick.
Wow.
And the other thing is, what was going on apparently with Stefon in Buffalo?
Yes.
They felt like they had to get him, and Buffalo's got to
transfer to a young quarterback in Houston.
Yep. And on Buffalo's perspective, can a young wide receiver come in there and take up the slack, whatever. I think they felt like they could not have if they draft a wide receiver in the first round, kind of like the same situation where the Cowboys were in with CD and Amari Cooper, where the Cowboys felt like CD needs to be the top dog in that room, and you can't bring in a first-round wide receiver and Stefon be the top dog in the room with what was going on behind the scenes there, apparently.
Well, what's the kid's name? Nico Collins?
Nico Collins. And Tank Dell is another
that's 1,200 yards, right?
Yeah,
from last year?
Right.
So you've got a young quarterback and a young team. Here comes Diggs, who's very boisterous and aggressive. Can he do the same thing in Houston that he was trying to do in Buffalo? In other words, demand much more from his quarterback. In other words, throw me the ball all the time.
And what happened was the last 7 games, his production went down. And
when they changed offensive coordinators.
Right, and also his targets went down. So the last 7 games, he didn't have a 100-yard reception game.
What do you think? What do you think?
Nothing against 30.
What about the offensive coordinator that he's going to now? Do they have a connection? Does he seem to think that in some way this is going to prove out to be more passes for me?
Well, Bobby Slowick
He may really think that. And I think it's even that negotiation of going on to a 1-year deal. That kind of goes to show, like, hey, we're going to give this a chance for a year. Let's see how much I can get the ball.
He must feel it. He must feel something.
That's why they may have wanted to.
Well,
he must think something like that.
But he's looking at, I got all this money for 1 year, and I'm a free agent again next year.
Right. And so it's a Kirk Cousins effect here, where he and his agent's doing a great job of working the system to get as much money as he can. And in a year from now, he'll have a big year in Houston.
Best
and
case
he'll get another
scenario.
big
That's
contract.
best case scenario. He has a big year in Houston. Houston looks like they look towards the end of the season. He's a part of that. Then he can stay and sign for a multi-year
And you're
deal.
taking your matters into your own hands with your contract, where you're not leaving it up to Buffalo. He made enough noise there in Buffalo and they worked out a deal and now he's got a 1-year deal in Houston, and now he's got his future in his own hands.
How do you think that
because a year from now he'd just get cut from Buffalo, maybe even after the free agent flurry and of signings, and he wouldn't get near as much money.
You've got a young up and coming coach in Houston. This guy's doing a great job. Do you bring in, and I don't want to call him a wild card. He's not that by any means. But when you look at the issues that he had with his quarterback last year, talking about Diggs, do you want to bring that into this comfortable situation that you have right now? Here, this is a young team. You know, they're still they can be influenced in a lot of different ways.
I think they feel like, though, they could be right on something like a Mahomes in Kansas City in what he do his first year as a quarterback there, and his second year. I mean, they're making him run all the way to the Super Bowl. They're giving Stroud enough weapons where if they stay healthy, they can make a deep run.
Right.
And yeah, they aren't going to. They'll negotiate with Stefon after this season, but
I've got to see how he fits with this quarterback.
But even
I've got to see how he fits with this system.
But even from a Buffalo standpoint, it makes a lot more sense now that we hear that it's just a 1-year deal that Stefon is on, and so a year from now, Texans, what do they have to show for this trade? Okay, whatever Diggs does this year, what the Texans do this year, well, they've lost their second-round pick next year. So,
and they're going to be maybe desperate if it's a good year to sign him to an extension. And let's finish on this good news. Deron Bland was paid $759,758 in performance-based bonus by the NFLPA for his performance last year. So he almost made as much money in the bonus as he did in base salary. Right. So good for Deron Bland, right?
Congratulations,
he was out
man.
running on the field before
He's
we started
already
the show.
out there working.
Trying to get better.
Yep.
He'll get better, too.
and his base salary last year was $870,000.
Man.
So the bonus was just $100,000 less.
Double up. That's all right.
So good for Deron Bland.
Yeah.
So can we take this home?
Yes.
It's all year.
All you.
All right, I'm taking mine home too.
So we expect you to be very proficient on the draft next week.
I'll be just looking for HBCU players. Like, man, this is a bunch of crap.
Okay, next week I'll find you some HBCU
I found one
players in
already.
the
I found the
big green
Grambling man.
notebook.
All right,
Okay.
we're going to do that.
All right, so that does it. Go before you leave. Make sure you
Get
put
your
glasses on.
Get them
So
on.
I need to wear them outside?
We are 1 hour and 36 minutes away
But only
from total
I'm wearing mine in the lunch line.
darkness.
We're
I'm wearing mine in the lunch
We're
line.
26 minutes away from first contact.
Okay.
First contact.
Don't start.
It's supposed to be at 12:30.
First contact with what?
Like when
The
it,
moon
when it
and the
starts
sun.
Oh,
shading
really?
over
I
the
thought-
sun.
Edging in.
I thought he was going
The peak
third
moment
rock.
is
Thank you.
1:43 p.m.
That's
Central
right.
Standard
Say it
Time.
again.
1:43 p.m. That's the exact
total
time.
darkness.
Is supposed to be, that's the peak.
Not total darkness.
That's the peak.
It's not total darkness.
It's going to be
You know what-
dark.
You know
It's
what
gonna
my
be dark,
assignment-
but not total. This is total freaking darkness. I can't see any of y'all.
You know what
it's
my-
not going to be that.
You know what my assignment is?
What is it?
To keep my 16-year-old beagle from looking at the sun. My wife said, when are you going to work? I said, after the totality, whatever. And she said, okay, you'll be here. Make sure that Bo doesn't look at the sun.
Bring Bo inside.
Just say,
No, she said, even if he's inside, he can look out the window. He's 16 years old and can't see my hand.
He's already blind.
He can't see my
He's already blind.
I said,
There's no damages,
how
no
about,
further damages
How about
here.
if I point his head towards the sun and maybe he'll be able to see again?
Finally.
Yeah, maybe it'll correct his
Reverse
vision.
effect. Yeah.
Right. Anyway,
That's a good
where
one.
does he sleep?
you
the
don't want to
house.
know. In our
Tell
bed.
me in the bed.
In our bed, yes.
Well, put him in
I
the
hate
bed.
that crap. I hate that crap.
Put him in the
That's
bed
another.
and hold
your
it
That's
wife-
a
that's
whole
your
nother
wife's idea,
podcast.
right?
Oh, definitely
Man,
it
come
is.
on, man.
Yeah.
I hate that crap, man.
That's
I've been there, done that. Been there, done that.
yeah. All right. Fortunately, she's at work and not listening. And we will see you again next Monday here. And it'll be the first day of work for the off season next
That's right,
Monday.
April 15th.
Here on
Pay
the
your
show.
taxes.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!